Hi, this is Glenn with Crimson Lotus Tea. We are in Shangri-La. Shangri-La is a city in the northwest corner of Yunnan province. This is in Diqing County. The city was traditionally called Zhongdian or Jitong by the Tibetans. It was given the name Shangri-La around the turn of the century, primarily for tourist reasons. Although if you had to pick one town in the world that closest resembled the Shangri-La of Lost Horizons, it would probably be this town. It's a valley town. It's temperate climate, mostly year-round. Nestled in the Himalayas. It's incredibly gorgeous. It's a beautiful town. We are here to talk about Tibetan butter tea. It's made with yak butter, so we're going to show how it's made in a modern way. We're going to show how it was traditionally made, and we're going to show how the butter is actually made from the yak. So thanks for watching this video. Check it out. We are in a modern Tibetan kitchen, and we are going to show you how they make Tibetan yak butter tea the modern way. The tea is stored fairly simply, and it is just primarily shangpur. This is it. And they just store it open like this. They like to let it have a little age. The longer the better, of course, but it depends on what you have access to. Lamo's family prefers the traditional Shaoguan Baoyan Holy Flame. It's the exact same one that we sell on our site, and this is exactly what they'll use. They will go ahead and break it up, and they'll store it up onto the shelf like I showed you. So this is Lamo's aunt, Ni Hao. And she's going to show us how she makes butter tea. So this tea was actually boiling for about 3 hours, and it really only used just a little tiny bit of tea, maybe about 4 to 5 grams for this entire pot. They boiled it last night for about 2 or 3 hours, and they let it sit overnight, and then this morning it was just brought up to a boil, and so it's ready to make butter tea. So she uses a little bit of salt. Traditionally, they would use a different method, but now they use these blenders. So she puts in about a tablespoon of salt, and then she grabs some yak butter. And this yak butter was all freshly made, local. I'm going to show you guys that too. Depending on if it's a full pot or not, depends on how much yak butter she uses. So nice little chunk. And now that the tea is boiling, it's just poured straight in and then blended. It's important to blend right away, otherwise the butter can cool down. So you want to do it while it's hot. Then they use a more modern style kettle pitcher of sorts. It's a large one, it's metal. They'll keep this on the fire all day long. So then they just keep it warm here on the stove. They also have different stoves throughout the house, and that's pretty much it. So now that we made the butter tea, we're actually going to drink some. This is something that you guys would do every single morning?
Oh yeah, every single morning, every lunch, and whenever guests come, we would love to drink tea with the guests.
Can you imagine a morning without butter tea?
I can't imagine it.
Yeah.
When I was in US, I miss butter tea so much.
So oftentimes the butter tea is actually drank with a barley powder as well, right?
Oh yeah, barley powder with the butter tea together. It's you can take to go if you want to.
Yeah, I actually like it a lot with some barley powder in there.
And this is very traditional Tibetan cups. So they most made of wood. So the man one is usually bigger.
Men get the big cup.
Female get a smaller one. So this is a baby size. I'm just using.
It's the baby size, but hers is silver line, which is also something that they traditionally did.
Yeah. So let's try it. 我们试一试哈。好喝。
It's not bad. It's a tougher taste for me to get used to. I've been trying every single year, getting a little bit more used to it. If you like a lot of butter, you'll probably like it a lot. There's also a lot of different variations on how much butter is added, how much tea is added, how much salt is added. Can change the flavor a lot.
Yeah, so, Tibetan usually like aged tea for a little longer. So if we drink like a newer holy flame, it will be a little bit more astringency.
Do you like the astringency?
I do.
Okay, yeah. So your family likes the astringency.
Yeah, and for me, my person, I really like a thick butter. But when I drink it, I will, blow.
Yeah, as the cup sits, the butter actually floats to the top, so you can blow it off and you can drink more of the tea.
My other one shows some barley powder.
Sure, let's see some barley powder.
Yeah. Again, try some.
So this is something that they drank in Tibet for a very, very, very long time. This is essential to the traditional Tibetan diet. The tea gave a lot of vitamins and minerals they don't have access to in their diet.
Yeah.
So have her show us how she will drink this with the butter tea.
但是你咋个所有茶店就咋个喝呢？
西安是要这种一点。
Oh.
So you toss a little barley powder in your mouth and then you drink it.
I will
Let's
try it. I try it.
So barley is one of the only things that grows really well at high altitude. So barley is a huge staple in the Tibetan diet. So a combination of yak butter gives them the fat and the energy that they need through the day. The tea gives them a lot of the minerals that are vitamins and minerals that are lacking from their diet, and then the barley powder is probably just extra.
So for Tibetan, it's very carol life. Everybody just they hang out together, drink a butter tea. It's very social. 老的时候就知道。
以前古老的时候就这种。
So in the Asian Tibet, we don't have a spoon, so people like to try the barley with the fingers.
Let's put their finger in, 1 or 2 fingers, and then they'll. It's actually quite nice. I like it a lot more when.
不是这样，是应该是在这个背面。
It's on the back.
都是这样背面。
Back of the finger.
Yes.
All right. I actually like the butter tea a lot more when there is barley in it.
Yeah. For some people, if you treat this instead of tea, it's like soup. Maybe
Yeah. For me, like if I think of this less as tea and I think of it more as a soup, it's a lot more easy for me to drink. But when I think of it like tea, it really doesn't taste anything like tea unless I brew it in the ratios that I'm familiar with. I can brew it really strong and just put a little bit of butter in there and kind of get a little bit of that hint, and that's kind of how I prefer it.
awesome.
然后喝到最后先。
Yeah, you drink to the end.
每次喝都要吹一下那
You
个油皮。
like what I said, just blow the top part.
Yeah, you
till
can blow
the
them
end.
out, blow this cream off the top.
And the cream you leave to the end. Blend with some.
Oh, okay. So when the cream is down to the bottom, toss in barley powder and you kind of stir it up.
Yeah.
That also I really like because that's it kind of tastes like a really creamy biscuit, buttery biscuit. It's so delicious. So this is how it's done in modern Tibet. We're also going to show how it would have been traditionally made, which is different. So we're going to go to her grandfather's house and show you guys how to do that too.
Awesome. So.
Here's a close-up on the traditional Tibetan butter tea drinking cup. This is made out of a giant knot of wood. I was told it's from the wormwood tree. What was it called in Chinese again, Lemu? The haozhi, and this is very traditional. They used to be much more common, but these are very hard to get now. They're quite expensive, and it's just carved and natural. They will also do a lot with silver lining. Obviously, this cup has been in the family for quite a while. It's been used a lot. It's got a lot of character and personality to it. I kind of like the idea of a natural wood cup though. Although it's just as common to see really simple porcelain teaware as well, but they bring these ones out for special occasions. Shangri-La may be a growing and big modern town, but this is still something that you'll run into. Check this out. Yes, there are actual yaks walking down the middle of the road. Hello, Yaks! Hi. This is Lamo's grandfather's pu'er tea stash. Keeps it in this wooden box up in the cabinet. It's probably one of the biggest tea knives I've seen. I don't know if he uses that to defend his tea or break open the bricks. But he's going to use something similar, and he pre-breaks it up. And this is all he needs for one session. It's just like this. I mean, you can drink butter tea all day off of something like this. This is a Nishi-style teapot designed specifically for Tibetan butter tea. It's often placed directly into a fire. This is in their home, so this is the modern equivalent of a fire. It's just some electric coils. It's going to do the exact same thing. The large boot end on the front would be used to push into the fire, and the handle is on the back, so it keeps the handle cool while the pot can actually be in the fire. So you fill that with water, you fill it with tea, and you let it boil, and it's ready to make tea. This is the final element that's used. This is a chatong. It is a traditional butter tea maker. So the butter tea and the butter and the salt is all put inside there, and then it gets churned. We're gonna see how he does it. So this is Lamo's grandfather. He's going to make some butter tea for us right now. At this altitude, how long does it take to boil?
So he bought the hot water, so it's already boiling.
This is the yak butter that we're going to be using. Yak butter doesn't have to be refrigerated, but it should be kept in a cool place, so they just keep this in the cabinets. And that's it.
爷爷一般喝就直接喝了是吧？
He just likes it straight, no barley?
Yeah.
就行了，这个没在就是想吃没吃了。
So when he's out camping and hunting in the woods, does he bring this with him so he can have butter tea in the morning?
但是如果你在大连的时候，这些茶具给带几个？
带好不带好一样嘛，上哪带哪带这
或者是这种速溶茶能茶具给带几个？
这个桶这个有的嘛。
带几个那个？Yeah, he will bring those. He hunt.
Thank you. 谢谢爷爷。
成功。
We're at a small farm outside of Shangri-La, and we are going to see how traditional Tibetan butter is made. The first thing they'll do is they'll milk the yaks, and once they've collected about 10 liters of that, then they bring it to this room here. So once they've gathered enough yak milk, like I said, it's about 10 liters, what they're going to do is they're going to take it into a machine. Well, it's basically a repurposed washing machine. And this is where they do. This is where they will actually churn the butter. It takes about 15 minutes, and after 15 minutes, they'll reach inside of there with their hands and they'll clump it all out until they get enough butter. It'll be into like a giant ball, and they're going to come out here and they're going to put it into cold water. This is actually a giant chunk of yak butter right there. It's actually quite tasty just by itself. The second step in the process after it's been churned is to put it over a fire like this. Then they'll take it and they'll heat it up for a long time, add a little bit of bacteria into it, and they'll go and they'll put it into this container here where it needs to stay hot for about 4 hours. At that point, they can take it out and create a cheese chunk out of it. This shape is a traditional shape, and it's gathered from. Shape is made because of the baskets that they store the cheese in, and let it all the extra oil and stuff come out of it, and then they'll actually reuse this oil again in the next batch. So they put the blankets over it to keep it nice and warm.
Yes.
How long does it have to stay here?
这个要摆几天呢？
明天
不是4个小时。
4 hours.
4 hours? Okay.
这样差不多了嘛。
人家老师的那个。
可能时间越长越爽。
越长越爽。
哦呀，到4个小时嘛就。
One of the things that I've been wanting to do for a long time is to learn how to milk a yak. It's the first step in making Tibetan butter tea. You got to milk the yak to make the butter tea, and we are waiting here all afternoon for the yaks to come home. Yaks are milked twice a day. They're milked in the mornings and they're milked in the evenings. And if you can look behind me, they're coming home. So pretty soon we're going to be able to milk some yaks. Pretty excited about it. The yaks are free-range animals. They graze in the forests and the meadows up here in the mountains, and they come back every day. They're fed a diet that consists of a certain amount of salt, which kind of gets them hooked and makes them want to come back to get more of the salt that they need. So they graze all day, eat up in the mountains, and they come back, and then they're milked in the evenings. And milked in the mornings.
Oh, this is the daughter. 4 daughters. Oh.
How old is this one?
This is the smaller one. Okay. 他说你跟他解释下你在做什么，然后我就翻译啊。
啊。
那我就买玉米那块。
哦。
他是老的。
She's a little older, so she doesn't have a lot.
我老年是8斤的。我就买玉米多，另外嘛都退出多了呀。
So what do I do, Lama? Where's it at? Right here?
他是要怎么弄呢？他说是要怎么挤呢？
就吃了嘛。
You just pour it gradually, slowly pour it. That's it.
He doesn't like me.
不要温柔一点呢 Gently and slowly.
别把这。把着点就把住住住。
Yeah, I got nothing, Baba. What am I doing wrong?
哎呀，这样子
Yeah,
把干嘛
I
用？
think that just because this cow doesn't want to give.
哎呀，俺就
sorry.
软。
So she's gonna try it.
Okay. Hello. Well, maybe I was going too gentle.
她说她给太温柔了。
一些店有他上不花嘛，个。
Just
他
tiny
小
bit.
不得那么不花嘛。
She doesn't let people she doesn't know to have the milk.
So his number. Thanks for checking out our Tibetan butter tea video. I hope you found it educational. We're still going to be in Yunnan for a while and got a lot more videos and fun stuff to show you guys. So like and subscribe and check out what else we've got. Thanks for watching.